This week I am doing a DIY project at the house. I am removing bathroom mirrors attached with black mastic asphalt type adhesive. I learned a lot from some trial and error, so I figured it may help others to learn how I tackled this project. Let's get to it.
What I'm doing is I'm taking off these mirrors because, well, we don't like the whole setup we've got here. We've got double sides, long, full mirrors the whole way, but the original contractors, they didn't just put one mirror. They actually put 3 mirrors on each side. We didn't like the bevels for one thing. That's kind of ridiculous in the middle there. I don't know why they put this up originally. Anyway, so you can see on this side, I've actually taken off 2 mirrors and I've gotten a pretty good hang of how to do it. That's why I wanted to make the video, because the first one was more challenging. The middle one here was less challenging because I kind of figured out the solution. And now this third one on this wall, I'm going to show you how I do it. And that's using a heat gun along with your shims here. So what you're going to need, a couple of supplies. You're going to need these shims, like from Home Depot. I bought 2 packages. So they're like 10 of these in a package. And they're just shims, wooden shims. One side is going to be bigger than the next one. Now you're going to be using multiple. They'll start off with a couple, and then as it gets further and further from the wall, you're going to add more and more of these, and you're going to put, like, let's say, 4 or 5 of these shims together to then get through there. You're going to need, at least what I need, what I like, is this rubber mallet for hitting in the shims. You don't want to overdo it though. You don't want to hit too hard. Later I'm going to show you, so kind of the video is in 2 parts. I'm going to show you first how I take off the mirror using the heat gun and the shim method. And then the second part of this is going to be how you remove this, I think it's called mastic. It's called like a mastic adhesive. It's like a tar. Now the reason I like the heat gun method is because if you don't use the heat gun, there's a chance of damaging the wall, because this stuff is so hardcore adhesive that if it doesn't pull off the mirror side, it could pull off on the wall side and damage the wall. I'm more sensitive about this tile because obviously I don't want to damage the tile. But then we've got here on this side is the regular sheetrock drywall situation, which I don't want to damage either. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing on the tile wall, and it should be the same, should apply to any kind of drywall as well. And you'll see how it turns out. You'll see what happens here is that you end up getting the full, I'll call it like a patty, if you will. The full patty comes off. Okay, let's get to it. I'm going to take several of these shims. I'm probably going to start out with like 4. And I'm going to pack them together. And I'm just put them in random places. Actually, that's too many. I'm going to put 3 together. And then I'm going to tap them gently with mallet. You see how that works? Not too much at one time. Now, just to let you know, this whole process, for me at least, I found that it almost takes about a half hour to get off one piece. That's probably slow for a lot of people, but I'm really being cautious to make sure I don't have a break. Okay. That's going to be my key right there to my method, I'm going to start heating up from this side that I'm pulling out. I'm going to heat these up first, and then it's going to allow me to pull, and as this gets loose, I'm going to focus on this side more, and then it's going to go away. So you're heating up the area of the adhesive to loosen it on the side that you're trying to pry off. And then as you get further and further, the other key to this is as you go further, you're going to be able to see in a lot better, because you'll see in a moment. Get right next to the wall, put your flashlight right there, and I can actually see. And what I've been doing, I've been using a marker, a magic marker, and I've been noting that there's one right there. So you can kind of see, can you see? Yeah, you can see there that there is the tar right underneath it. So that's why I've placed my marker right there. I can see another one right there. Once you get further in there and you're able to hammer these things in a bit more, it creates a bigger gap. So now what I'm going to do, I've got these in just barely, and I'm going to start heating up those areas where I can see there's adhesive on this side. Okay, and as I go, you got to hold it on there for a little time there. You don't want to hold it in one place necessarily, and as it heats up, I'll be able to put just a little bit more. Like I said, patience is key. It takes me like 30 minutes to do this. That's why I'm not going to show you the whole thing. And you want to rotate, because what happens is if you start hammering one end too much, then the others are going to fall because you haven't adjusted those properly, right? So you always want to rotate and go through each one. This one here is not getting much at all. I imagine there's quite a bit of adhesive down here. I can already feel that's loosening up quite a bit. Not the bottom one yet. I can see that one in the middle. That's the main one there. As we go further, you can kind of see, like I said, you can see behind there a bit better. Obviously the camera's not really going to do it justice, but whenever you just have your face up to the wall with the flashlight, you can see in there a bit better, and you can see what you're dealing with. This one here is getting to where it needs another one, another shim. So take that out. You just want to do it gently until it's absolutely ready. I've seen a lot of people that do it a lot faster and they'll be a little more forceful, but I'm just really don't want to have a breakage situation, so I'm taking it really slow. So it's still catching on. You can even see a little bit of a bow in the mirror, just slightly. So it's still catching on down here. There's probably adhesive right around here. Oh, I can hear it, I can hear it. I can hear it. Oh. Okay. Okay. So eventually you're going to want to grab it with your hand. You probably should have gloves on, but grab with your hand, because if it becomes loose, you don't want it to come falling down. You need to have some support. So I can kind of giving it a little bit of a pressure up here with my hand to see just how loose it is. It's, oh, okay, everything's falling now. That means it's probably ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the heat gun, get my hands in place. Yep, just pull it a little bit. Kind of pulling it from the middle, so that way there's less flex. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Oh, there it goes. Okay, there it goes. Oh. And then all of your shims will be back there behind. Okay, so, that was why it was unusual, because there was a ton more of this adhesive on this particular piece. So whereas the other ones only had 4 or 5, this thing had 8. And there was these two were the problem child here, because I didn't realize it was the other 2 I had done. It was all this level all the way across, and this one had 8 piles of glue or adhesive. Okay. I want to show you next how to take these patties off. If you got the, what's it called again? I wrote it on my hand, mastic. The mastic. I'm going to need a couple of other tools, including this scraper. You got a couple of different options just that I had around the house here. I'm going to put the heat gun on this thing, give my scraper. Here's the piece. You can actually see See if I can do this with my other hand to give you a better visual. So, okay, fairly self-explanatory. Once you get it hot enough, you're going to get this thing off. It's hot, so don't touch it. Now we've gotten the big glob off, so now it's time to apply our WD-40 and show you how that works. So for this, you're going to need a lot of paper towels, because once this tar stuff gets on something, whether it's a rag or whatever, you're going to pretty much have to throw it away. So just using paper towels here. And what I'm doing is, where's my WD-40? Here it is. So I've lost the trigger deal on the top, so I'm having to just do this. But you'll see how kind of quickly it comes off. It takes, to get it really clean, you need about 5 minutes of scrubbing. But you can see just with the first pass how much comes off. Apply a little of this. Kind of soak it in a little bit and scrub it off. Yeah, kind of comes off, and it's going to get real dirty around the area, so you've got to do several passes, including the grout area, which is kind of the toughest. But you can see there, like a minute or two to do the first heat pass, right, to get the full patty off. And then this here is only taking, what, a minute? And it's pretty much good to go with the WD-40, which is really quite surprising considering how kind of gross and adhesive that is. First was taking the mirror off itself. Fairly straightforward. Next off, we took off the little cow patty deal, which is the, what is it called? I wrote it down, mastic. Wrote it on my hand. The mastic stuff, like a tar. So then to take that off, the more of the bulky part of the patty, I used the heat gun, I used a scraper. I was able to scrape it off that. Once you get it down to the tile, I did the WD-40, and it really works like a miracle. I mean, other stuff I used didn't work. I used like a paint thinner and all this stuff. It didn't work at all, so the WD-40 works, and you saw how fast that was. That was like 2 minutes and a bunch of paper towels, and the whole the color of the brown residue was off of there. So anyway, that's the 3 tips I have for you: the mirror, the patty, and then the full residue of the patty with the WD-40. We'll see you next time. Good luck.
And I'll leave you with a couple of shots from the before and after. I ended up using these 2 aluminum framed mirrors. They have slightly curved corners, I guess kind of a retro style. Let me know what you think. See you next time.